The multiverse trembles. A war of unimaginable proportions rages across the fabric of reality. On one side stands the Monitor, a being of immense power dedicated to preserving the delicate balance of the cosmos.
But a new enemy has emerged from the shadows, a force of annihilation determined to consume all of existence. The Anti-Monitor, a being of pure antimatter driven by an insatiable hunger to devour all of creation.
The battle lines are drawn. He will stop at nothing to achieve his ultimate goal, the complete and utter annihilation of all that exists. The Anti-Monitor's ambition is as boundless as the void from which he spawned. He seeks not merely to conquer, but to erase, to leave nothing but a silent, empty expanse where once countless worlds thrived.
Across the infinite expanse of the multiverse, heroes fall. Entire civilizations crumble into dust.
Hope seems to dwindle with each passing moment. He must find them, unite them, and unleash their combined might against the Anti-Monitor's reign of terror. The Monitor, in a desperate gambit, dispatches 7 orbs across the multiverse. Each orb pulses with a unique energy signature, drawn to a specific individual, a paragon, destined to play a pivotal role in the coming conflict.
On a world teeming with heroes and wonders, an orb finds its way to Earth, seeking out a speedster who cheated death itself. Pietro Maximoff, the silver-haired hero known as Quicksilver, is about to have his life irrevocably altered. He is the Paragon of Destiny, and his extraordinary speed will be crucial in the fight against the Anti-Monitor.
The stage is set for an epic confrontation. Chaos, destruction. Pietro Maximoff, known as Quicksilver, raced through Sokovia.
Amidst the chaos, I focused on protecting the innocent. I moved like a silver blur, scooping up terrified civilians.
Then he saw a young boy frozen in fear. Pietro surged forward, scooping him into his arms. A missile veered off course, hurtling towards them. The moment of impact was inevitable. The world mourned the devastation in Sokovia.
Haunted by the memories of that day, I vowed to use my abilities to protect the innocent, to ensure that no one else would have to endure the horrors I had witnessed.
He trained alongside Earth's mightiest heroes, honing his speed, mastering his powers.
But beneath the surface, a deep-seated fear lingered. The memory of that day in Sokovia, the feeling of the missile slamming into me, the searing pain that engulfed me before everything went dark, it haunted my dreams.
He had looked death in the eye and survived, but the experience had left an indelible mark on his soul. The battle had forged a new purpose. The Avengers weren't just teammates, they were family.
I was particularly close to my twin sister, Wanda. Our connection, forged in shared trauma, ran deeper than blood.
He understood my pain, the fear of losing control, of becoming a danger to those I cared about.
There was a sense of belonging with the Avengers, a feeling that he was finally part of something larger than himself. He reveled in the camaraderie, the shared purpose, the knowledge that they were making a difference. But deep down, a part of him still felt like an outsider, a stranger in a strange land. The bond with his sister was his anchor. Life with the Avengers was anything but peaceful.
But the world wasn't so easily saved. A new menace emerged, one that threatened to tear the Avengers apart from the inside.
Ideological differences surfaced, creating a rift within the team.
I, torn between my loyalty to my sister and my belief in the greater good, found myself at a crossroads.
It was then, amidst the chaos and uncertainty, that a strange anomaly appeared before him. A glowing orb, pulsating with an otherworldly energy, materialized out of thin air. A powerful presence emanated from the orb, ancient and unknowable, whispering of a destiny far greater than he could have ever imagined. The Avengers, once a symbol of unity and strength, found themselves fractured, their bonds strained by conflicting ideologies.
On one side stood Tony Stark, haunted by the devastation he felt responsible for, advocating for oversight and accountability.
On the other side stood Steve Rogers, his unwavering belief in freedom and autonomy clashing with the demands of a world grappling with the consequences of unchecked power.
Pietro, caught in the middle of this ideological tug-of-war, felt the weight of his loyalties pulling him in opposite directions.
He had joined the team to fight for freedom, to protect those who couldn't protect themselves, not to become pawns in a political game. The tension that had been simmering beneath the surface finally boiled over, erupting into a full-blown conflict.
It was a clash of ideals, a battle for the soul of the team, and Pietro found himself caught in the middle of the storm. His loyalty to his sister Wanda drew him to Captain America's side.
But as the battle raged, Pietro couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. The fight felt personal, fueled by anger and resentment, a far cry from the unity and purpose that had once defined the Avengers. He watched as his friends and teammates turned on each other, their powers unleashed with a fury that chilled him to the bone. The battle was tearing them apart. The battle between the Avengers sent shockwaves across the world, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake.
Pietro, witnessing the chaos and devastation, felt a growing sense of unease.
The sight of a young girl, her eyes wide with terror, trapped beneath a pile of debris, brought him crashing back to reality. He moved with his trademark speed, clearing the rubble, gently lifting her to safety. But it was too late. She was gone, another casualty in a war that had no winners. Haunted by the consequences of the battle, disillusioned by the fracturing of the team he had come to call family, Pietro made a choice.
I could no longer be a part of a conflict that seemed to be doing more harm than good.
With a heavy heart, he bid farewell to his sister, to the Avengers, to the life he had built for himself.
I need to find my own way, to reconcile the conflicting ideologies that have torn the team apart, to rediscover the hero I know I can be.
He didn't know where he was going, but he knew one thing for sure. He could no longer ignore the call of his own destiny. The world watched in disbelief as the Avengers, once symbols of hope and unity, battled amongst themselves.
Caught between loyalty and principle, I felt increasingly alienated from the conflict that raged around me.
But the accords felt like a betrayal, a surrender to fear rather than a solution.
The tension was palpable, the air thick with unspoken words and simmering resentment.
The camaraderie that had once defined the Avengers was gone, replaced by suspicion and distrust. The arrival of Thanos, the Mad Titan, shifted the paradigm entirely.
The Avengers, our differences momentarily forgotten, rallied together to face this new existential threat.
The battle was brutal, a desperate struggle against an unstoppable force.
I pushed my speed to its absolute limit, fought with the ferocity of a cornered animal.
He saw his friends fall, felt the sting of defeat, the crushing weight of despair.
And then, with a snap of Thanos' fingers, half of all life in the universe simply ceased to exist.
This was a loss on a scale he could barely comprehend. The world was a different place after the snap.
I wandered the empty streets, haunted by memories of what was lost.
He had survived, but at what cost? The world was in ruins, his sister gone, the Avengers a distant memory. The speed that had once defined him now felt like a burden, a constant reminder of the fleeting nature of time. The moments he could never get back haunted him. "5 years of solitude, of quiet reflection had changed Pietro.
I realized that the world didn't need a hero defined by speed, but by purpose, by empathy.
He decided to leave the Avengers compound, to seek out his own path, to use his speed not for battle but for healing.
It needed Pietro Maximoff, not as Quicksilver, but as myself.
He would honor the memory of those lost by dedicating his life to rebuilding the world, brick by brick, act of kindness by act of kindness. He was no longer defined by the past, but by the future he would help create. A new journey awaited him. The world was slowly healing. 5 years had passed since the snap. 5 years of agonizing silence and rebuilding. The return of those lost had brought a wave of joy, but also the crushing weight of a world forever changed.
I found solace in helping others piece their lives back together. I raced across continents, delivering aid, reuniting families, offering a kind word and a helping hand. My speed, once a symbol of power, was now an instrument of compassion. I had found my purpose, not in battle, but in rebuilding.
One day, while delivering medical supplies to a remote village still reeling from the aftermath of the snap, Pietro felt it, a surge of energy, a tingling sensation that spread through his body like a shockwave. It was faint, almost imperceptible, but it was unmistakable. Something was calling. The energy drew him towards a clearing in the forest, a place of serene beauty untouched by the chaos of the world. As he stepped into the clearing, he saw it, a glowing orb pulsating with an otherworldly light.
It was identical to the one I had seen years ago, the one that had called to me.
He approached the orb cautiously, his heart pounding in his chest. The being introduced himself as the Monitor, a guardian of the multiverse, a protector of all realities. He explained that a force of unimaginable destruction, the Anti-Monitor, threatened to consume all of existence, leaving nothing but an empty void in its wake.
The Monitor spoke of paragons, individuals chosen from across the infinite Earths, each possessing a unique quality, a vital aspect of creation, needed to combat this cosmic menace. Pietro, you are the Paragon of Destiny, your very being representing the infinite possibilities, the ever-changing tapestry of fate.
He told Pietro that he was needed, that the fate of the multiverse rested on his shoulders. He spoke of a gathering, a nexus point where the paragons would converge, where their combined strength would be the last line of defense against the Anti-Monitor's relentless assault. Pietro listened intently, his mind racing to comprehend the immensity of the task before him. He had spent years trying to outrun his past, seeking solace in helping others. Now he was asked to confront a threat so vast it defied all logic.
I looked at the orb, its light pulsing with an otherworldly energy, and felt a surge of conflicting emotions. The weight of countless worlds rested on my decision.
The clearing was silent, the only sound the gentle hum of the Monitor's orb. Pietro felt a familiar presence enter the clearing. Wanda rushed to his side, her hand reaching out to touch his arm.
Pietro, what is this place? What happened?
He looked at his twin, her brow furrowed with concern. She was a reminder of his humanity. He wanted to shield her from the truth. Wanda was a part of this too. He told her everything. The Monitor's warning, the Anti-Monitor's threat, the fate of the multiverse hanging in the balance. He spoke of the paragons, of his own destiny as the embodiment of infinite possibilities. Wanda listened intently, her expression a mixture of disbelief and growing dread. When he finished, a heavy silence settled between them. Wanda, her gaze fixed on the pulsating orb, seemed lost in thought. Pietro could sense her internal struggle, the conflict between her desire to protect him and her understanding of the greater good.
You can't go. It's too dangerous. We just got each other back.
I know, but this is bigger than us, Wanda, than me. It's about saving every world, every life that exists.
I understand, but promise me you'll be careful. Promise me you'll come back.
I promise.
As they parted, a newfound resolve settled over Pietro. He had spent years running from his past, from the burden of his powers. But the Monitor's call had awakened something within him, a sense of purpose, a destiny he could no longer deny. He was the Paragon of Destiny, and he would embrace that mantle with everything he had. He turned back to the orb, its light pulsing with an almost hypnotic rhythm. He could feel its energy calling to him. He took a deep breath, steeling himself. He reached out and touched the surface of the orb. A jolt of energy surged through his body. The world around him dissolved into a kaleidoscope of colors and light. He closed his eyes, surrendering to the unknown. The clearing returned to its serene silence, the only evidence of Pietro's presence a faint afterglow. Wanda stood there, the weight of her brother's absence pressing down on her. The forest around her felt vast and empty. Her twin, her other half, was gone. A being of pure annihilation threatened to consume everything. The fate of countless worlds rested on her brother and the other paragons. But amidst the fear, A spark of pride ignited within her. Pietro, her impulsive brother, faced the cosmic threat head-on. He embraced his destiny as a protector of life itself. Running towards danger, he became the Paragon of Destiny. He represented hope for a better tomorrow. Wanda clung to that hope, drawing strength from her brother's fight. She would honor his sacrifice and continue the fight. She was the Scarlet Witch, determined to protect the future.